ValveTime.net.
Hi, and welcome to a ValveTime Spotlight Exclusive. In this video, we will show you 32 individual pieces of concept art for Half-Life 2 Episode 3, submitted to us by one of our readers. The images have been verified for authenticity and were drawn by Valve concept artist Andrea Wickland. We'll take a look through all the images and add background information we know from the Half-Life series and the Half-Life 2 leak. Valve have recycled many of their ideas in games they develop, however, these images are from late 2008 and aren't likely to reflect any current version of Half-Life Valve may or may not be working on. Firstly, we have a selection of images of Alex Vance. She looks worn down and sad in these images. Some of her clothing is similar to the early media for Half-Life 2, although most of it is warm clothing for the Arctic environment Episode 3 is proposed to take place in. The most moving image is this one, of Alex wearing her late father's jacket. These next images show some uncolored versions of Alex with interesting attire not particularly suitable for Arctic tundra. Furthermore, these drawings show Alex with an eerie likeness to a very early concept with goggles sitting on her head, although they are more likely to be needed for the extreme climate. This shows the wreckage of the Russian Mi-8 helicopter, which we see parked in the hangar at the end of Episode 2, intended for the expedition to the Arctic. In the background is what is likely to be a weather station, a facility with instruments and equipment for observing atmospheric conditions to study weather and climate. The surrounding building architecture suggests Combine interference in the area. How and why did it crash? Was it gunned down by Combine defenses? In the Half-Life 2 beta leak, Combine gunships chased down a C-130 cargo plane which Gordon and Alex were traveling in to return to City 17. The players had to use a mounted gun to take down gunships, but eventually the plane crashes into a skyscraper known as Vertigo. This whole sequence took place after the weather control chapter in the Arctic regions. It is possible the sequence chronology was to be reversed for Episode 3, and the crash occurred near the weather control instead. The crash looks quite severe, although it's clear Alex and Gordon survive. How? Well, possible Vortigaunt intervention is one theory. The tower in the background of this image we don't believe to be another citadel, as it lacks the robustness of the one in City 17. In this final image of the chopper crash, we can see two figures who are likely to be Gordon and Alex. The Combine structure in the background looks nothing like the other structures we've seen from them before. It's obviously an important place as it has surrounding force field poles at its perimeter. The Combine art direction shows some variation from what we've seen from the Half-Life 2 and its episodes. Viktor Antonov designed the Combine architecture and technology but has since left Valve. That, coupled with a new environment, could be seen as a good time to diverge from what we've gotten used to. Next is the fisherman, wearing fisherman's overalls and a dry suit, probably to keep him warm when ice fishing. The other two versions of this unknown man show him in other clothing, suggesting he might have been an important NPC. These two images depict what looks like a pilot, although Alex piloted the helicopter, so we don't know his role. These two images show a civilian or rebel with an ice pick, either intended to help traverse the tough terrain or as a weapon. The ice pick was a usable weapon in the Half-Life 2 leak. We're not sure if this is human or Combine, but the ventilator suggests to us that this character could be involved in working underground, around low oxygen, or toxic gas environments. From previous Half-Life 3 concept art, the Borealis was shown under the ice in an area which looks quite inhospitable. The spiky boots are for gripping the ice. These next images all contain the word Zen in the original file name, so we know they are definitely Zen-based images. In this image, we can see presumably Gordon upon a floating platform similar to the floating islands we saw on Zen during Half-Life 1. The silhouettes of plants in the corner are reminiscent of the Xenian light stalks, also seen in Half-Life 1 and found in the Half-Life 2 leak files. The next images all contain a strange wispy entity with various backgrounds. We're unsure if it is even a real entity or purely conceptual. Gordon appearing within a bubble could be a transport means for his survival moving between worlds, or it could mean nothing at all. Lastly is this image of what could be Gordon in his hooded parka being chased by a Combine advisor. The image also had Zen in the file name, meaning we could see a more prevalent Combine presence on Zen when we return there in the next installment. We don't know what the Chinese-looking symbol on his head means, but if you do, please let us know. These images are from 2008, and the project is likely to have changed a great deal since then. We would even go so far as to suggest that Episode 3 outgrew itself, and Half-Life 3 is more likely to be the next Half-Life title. We live in hope that after Counter-Strike Go and Dota 2 are complete, that conditions could hardly be more ideal. If you enjoyed this video and would like to keep up with the latest Valve news, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Bye for now.